Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 kill team video. I'm Sick and we're going over the new FAQ lives. It was supposed to be a battle report, but we have the new FAQs. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of today's video. Do you like it or not? What do you think of the new FAQs? And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, an affiliate in Kelman Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. So yeah, FAQs have been updated. Very sudden. I've just been painting stuff. So let's go through it. I mean, yeah, so this is under the FAQ and Errata download section for Kill Team on the Warhammer community website. I'll link it down in the episode description below. This was recorded at like 12:43, so hopefully no more updates happen after this, but let's see. So for Void Dancer Troupe, the only new thing is when using the Curtain Falls tactical ploy, if the enemy operative is incapacitated, can the friendly operative still fall back? No, unless the enemy operative wouldn't be removed from the kill zone for any reason after being incapacitated, e.g. death and atonement from veteran guards. So this has actually been an ongoing recent rules question. So generally, like when I was chatting to my American friends and even TOs in the UK, we would rule you can't fall back from someone you killed because no one's in engagement range. But then some tournaments started ruling it the other way, and then Worlds did as well. And now it's been clarified you can't do that. So Void Dancer troops will be upset that they can't fall back from people that don't exist, but at least it's clarified now. It's good that we finally had this problem clarified. Unfortunately for Pathfinders, they have not been removed from the game with this FAQ, but instead the new update has been to Savior Protocols. So you add the following sentence to Savior Protocols. This rule has no effect on shooting attacks made with weapons that have the blast or torrent special rules, or attacks made against each operative within a certain distance of a specific point, e.g. mines. You had this weird thing where technically drones could like tank multiple hits. Like if this person they were protecting was hit by a blast, both hits would go into the drone, which doesn't make sense. That's been clarified. So a slight nerf to Pathfinders there. So Novitiates have actually quite a few updates. So the first new one is to the Defenders of the Faith strategic ploy. Each operative that does so cannot perform more than one act of faith during that action, other than act of faith blessings, which can be for more than once and with others. So effectively, when you use Defenders of the Faith to either go on guard or make a shooting attack, you could only use rerolls. You can't effectively change misses into hits and crits into hits, well, hits into crits. So a slight nerf there. Maybe it's enough. If using the Blinding Faith aura act while an enemy operative performs an Overwatch action and they cannot select another valid target, what happens? That Overwatch action ends, but when it alternates back to you, and that operative can still Overwatch late in the turning point. So it stops Overwatching for a turning, like for an activation, but they can still do it after if they still have more opportunities to Overwatch, which is a good clarification there. Then when using the Novitiate Superior Operative's ability, Laid by Example ability, what is the specific time the ready friendly operative must be selected? At any point during the Novitiate Superior's activation. For example, if it performs a mission action, then moves, you could select the ready friendly Novitiate operative to move from its new location. So you actually, it's more of a buff. So you could do things like do a mission action first, then move, then trigger someone else, which is weird. I guess it's because it's how it works, rules are written, but they've kind of actually buffed the leader even more there, which is horrifying. And then another question, is the Novitiate Condemner operative's null rod ability a modifier to APL characteristics? No. So basically, if you activate within red of the Condemner, your APL is reduced to 2. But it's now clarified it's not a modifier, so if you're like, we're having War Paint and you had +1 APL, you're still down to 2 APL. So another good clarification there. Technically a buff, but it's how the abilities always worked. Just another update for the Grot, for just the Kommandos. This operative cannot perform the Operate Hack action during this action. I completely forgot you could hookshot with the Grot and open the door at the same time. Oh my gosh. At least this is a good nerf. I mean, oh god, the fact they could do this was ridiculous. Okay, anyway, yeah. Good nerf. So you can't hookshot, open a door midpoint, like whatever, it's fine. So for Inquisitorial Agent, the Hex Assist ability Hexercise has been changed. So originally it said each time an enemy operative is visible on within red of the operative fights or makes a shooting attack, they cannot reroll their attack or defense dice. It's now changed. While an enemy operative is visible and within red of this operative, your opponent cannot reroll their attack or defense dice for it. So I'm not sure actually what changed here. I guess it now means it's always on. It's a really weird wording change. I guess this must be due to playtesting, but I'm very unsure what has actually changed here. Then if a Hexorcist operative performs Chasten action and I select an action that has an ongoing effect or effects yet to be resolved, such as the marksman or operative attract targeted, what happens? The markers are not removed. The effects are paused until the end of that enemy operative's next activation. Then they resume if relevant. So effectively, you've got stuff like you place a frenzy token, track target. So unless it continues until their next activation, like if they yet to activate, it basically always turns off. I guess they've just clarified it always turns off. It's very confusing FAQ, to be honest. So for the cortical subjugation tactical ploy, this is basically if you're shot, you can redirect it onto someone within white. This ploy has no effect on shooting attacks made that have the blast or torrent special rules or that target each within a specific point. So this looks like a general rules change because it's basically get down Mr. President. So instead of like the blast being absorbed twice on a different enemy operative, it has no effect. So good change there because these ploys have been actually quite toxic. For Hand of the Archon, if a disciple of Yelendra gains any pain tokens in the initiative phase as a result of enemy operatives being incapacitated from the Torment Grenade's action poison, can I spend them on Vitalize Surge in the same phase? Yes, but you cannot use Vitalize Surge more than once in that phase. So basically, if you kill someone in the strategic phase, at the start of the strategic phase, you can just do a dash, but you can't, because it's outside of the turning point, technically, you could have been able to, if you killed 3 operatives, do 3 dashes, but they've limited it to once. So just a nice clarification there for timing, which kill team sorely needs, because there's a lot of effects that clash with timing. So for Fellgor Ravager, when the Vandal performs a sweeping blow, do you roll d3+1 once, or for each operative separately, you roll separately? Good clarification there, I didn't realize that was an issue. If Fellgor Ravager operative gains a friendly token as a result of the Blades of Khaine's operative's Mandy Blaster, does the fight action end? Yes. Oh, that's horrific. That is, I guess it's right, but that's an indirect nerf to Blades of Khaine. Wow. If mortal wounds are inflicted on a Fellgor Ravager operative with a frenzy token in a shooting attack, does that qualify as inflicting critical damage as per the balance data slate? No. Technically, that's right. Some good clarifications there. I mean, rip Blades of Khaine, but I guess the mortal wounds one is a good clarification too. So Sickening Aura has been changed to say until the end of the turning point while an enemy operative is within white. Oh, because technically, the way it's read, it actually lasted the entire game, because currently it just says while you're within white. It's just a clarification on timing, which I guess is probably another change from playtesters, but it's good, I guess. It's just a formal change. And then page 57, basically get down Mr. President, the tactical ploy has no effect against blast or torrent or points that target stuff from a specific point, which is really good. Once again, just a general gameplay change there, which is good. Helps make this team a lot less immune to being shot at and makes the leader easier to kill, which is very good overall. If a Chaos Cult Devotee operative mutates into a mutant by incapacitating enemy operative in combat, but the enemy operative inflicts enough damage when they are incapacitated, e.g. Brimstone Grenadier, or when the Commando bomb squid explode, what happens first? Mutate into a new operative first, then inflict the damage. So good clarification of timing there, so you might be able to survive. Then if a Chaos Cult Devotee operative mutates into a mutant during its activation by incapacitating an enemy operative, can I then use Unleash the Demon tactical ploy before its activation ends? Yes. Once again, a good clarification of timing, because they never put a timing window on that tactical ploy. So because you now become a mutant, you can now technically fight again. So good it's clarified here. And then for Blooded, all that's changed is their Dark Favor tactical ploy. So if someone has a Blooded token and is shot at, it has no effect on attacks that have Blast, Torrent, or from a specific point. So once again, makes them immune, no longer immune from being hitting the blast on them and the person they would bounce off onto. So once again, a general gameplay change there. Okay, we also have an Errata to Blades of Khaine, which has no date on it. So, the Dire Avenger aspect technique's Death of 1,000 Blades, change this to use this aspect technique when a friendly Dire Avenger operative is performing the shoot action. After it makes a shooting attack using the Shrieking Catapult or Twin Shrieking Catapult, make another shooting attack with the operative using the same weapon against another valid target within white. It's just clarifying the wording, because the wording wasn't very clear. It was like, do you make a shoot or do you make another shoot action? Like, is it key? It's not keyworded, so do I need another action point to spend this? So it's just clarified, right? So it just makes more sense, which is how it should have been originally, which is just good. No other changes. Oh, there's a lot of other changes. Hold on. When using the Strike and Fade Striking Scorpion aspect technique, does it happen during the fight action or after? For example, if my opponent wants to interrupt making a guard attack, could they do so before Strike and Fade is resolved? During the fight action, in example, resolve Strike and Fade first. So for example, let's say someone fights me, but they also have someone on guard. I then kill them. I can now switch to conceal and dash out of line of sight visibility, and then before they resolve the guard action. So good clarification of timing there. When using the Woe Howling Banshee aspect technique, can the operative do any activations, well, any other actions between the first charge action, incapacitating enemy operative in combat, and the free charge action? For example, could I charge, mission action, fight, and free charge, or charge, fight, shoot, and free charge? No, because you have a weird timing with the, what do you call it? Fellgor Ravager, who can do something similar, which they're allowed to, so they've just clarified you can't there. Unfortunate, but there you go. When using the Woe Howling Banshee aspect technique, if the operative's movement characteristic would be modified after the first charge, e.g. becomes injured, can I still use the full remaining increments of movement from the first charge? Yes. What? That doesn't make sense. Okay, so even if you get injured, you still move your full distance that you had left. What on earth? That doesn't make any sense. When using the Rain of Tears Howling Banshee aspect technique, when does the fight action end? After the Howling Banshee operative has performed the free dash or fallback action. Therefore, you would interrupt the Howling Banshee's operative activation if it would be after the dash or fall action has been completed. So once again, just clarifying timing there, which is good. If a Fellgor operative gains a result of friendly token due to Mandy Blasters, does the fight action end? Yes. Just clarification. This is good. Like, I want to clarify this is good. Putting the same FAQ in the faction where it was asked and the faction it also affects is really good, because we have this problem with, like, what do you call it? Elucidine Star Striders, where their TAC-op is clarified in another faction's TAC-ops, like another faction's FAQ, and it's not reprinted in Elucidine Star Striders. So the fact they've done this for like both Fellgor and Blades of Khaine is very good. I really like seeing this. It just helps makes ruling clearer. It's just annoying they haven't done it for other factions that have this issue already. Oh my gosh, we also have an update for Strikeforce Justian that doesn't have a date. Add the following archetypes: Security and Seek and Destroy. And then for Brother Archeos, change his Heavy Bolter to the superior Japanese characteristic of 5. So Strikeforce Justian players, you can take Security and Seek and Destroy, and your Heavy Bolter has 5 attacks instead of 4. So the Close Quarters rules have been updated again. Add the following. Italicized text is new for this update. Some tactical ploys allow one or more operatives to be set up outside of your drop zone, e.g. Sneaky Git and Dimensional Translocation. In a battle that uses Close Quarters rules, you cannot do so. Instead, you can only use such tactical ploys once per battle at the end of the scouting step, and they allow the operatives with the keyword specified by that ploy that is wholly within your drop zone and has a conceal order to perform a free normal move and or operate hack action. In addition, that operative's order cannot be changed in the first turning point, e.g. as a result of infiltration. Note that for the Wormblade tactical ploy, up to 2 neophytes can do this. So, big changes here. You can't start an engage when you're trying to use your free move through the open door. Hugest change there. And then they've also buffed Wormblade, so now they can have 2 operatives move up. Just kind of, I guess it's because how the ploy works, but it's weird. I would have kept it all at 1 operative, But I guess it's because Wormblade don't really do that well in Into the Dark, so it's a nice buff for them there. But a good gameplay change. Biggest thing is, if you can forward deploy an Into the Dark, you have to be on Engage. No, I mean, you have to be on Conceal and you can't change your order. No, still the Pathfinders get around this with their drone forward deploy. Question: if a rule treats an operative as being injured regardless of any rules that say they cannot be injured, e.g. rust emanations, and another rule allows an operative to ignore modifications to one or more of its characteristics, e.g. calm head, which takes precedence? The former, the operative will always be affected by such rules. However, as per the balanced data slate, an operative's movement characteristic can still not be modified less than 2 white. It's just means you're always injured. Always injured, so it's basically from the Gellerbox infected and the Torment Grenade. Trumps everything, which is good. Question: if a tactical ploy causes mortal wounds to be inflicted on enemy operatives from a friendly operative, e.g. from putrescent demise from the Gellerbox infected and frenzied demise from Chaos Cult, does that friendly operative count as doing so, e.g. for the purposes of TAC ops such as Rampant Nightmares, Executioner? Yes. So quite a big change there, because you could even technically score Rob and Ransack off of killing someone, which is huge, like an indirect buff to those kill teams, especially when playing Seek and Destroy. So very, very good there. And finally, we have some more Into the Dark questions. When setting up barricades, which rules take precedence? The ones from close quarters or the ones in a mission pack, e.g. approved ops? The close quarters rules. Note that this auto applies to the fortify option in the scouting step. Additional barricades must be set up as specified by the close quarters rules. I guess people were confused, like, do you set up within the 6 of your drop zone or anywhere in your territory? You follow the close quarters rules. When making a guard attack with a weapon that has the torrent special rule, can I make subsequent shooting attacks too, as per the torrent special rule? Yes, regardless of whether it's Overwatch or point blank Overwatch. So effectively, I assume it means if I can guard into torrent someone and then it can still hit others, but I guess this overrides Overwatch, because I guess Overwatch stopped torrent, but I don't think it did. I thought only stopped blast. Regardless, if you somehow trigger that such a way someone could get multiple shots from a torrent Overwatch or guard, you can do so, which is a nice buff to Flamers. They're already good on Into the Dark, but they're kind of not that good overall, so it helps them in general, which is nice. Okay, so I'm looking through all these again. Apart from the ones with no dates, nothing else has been updated. We've got oddly no clarifications for Scout Squad. But yeah, that's been the general FAQs, you know, with the core rules and stuff. So overall, really good set of FAQs. Let me just refresh this quickly. So nothing else has been updated, so I will continue with the overview. So actually, a really good set of FAQs. We haven't had an FAQ in a long time. I think since it looks like since July last year, which feels about right. It's been very long. I hope they don't leave us another 6 months for an FAQ update. But good general things we've seen. If you have a Get Down Mr. President special rule, or ability or ploy, that is now no longer immune to blast and torrent special rules. So, for example, if the way it worked before, as I said, if you would hit someone with blast, they would spend a CP or use their ability to bounce it off twice onto the other guy. They can't do that anymore. Really good change there. We've had a general change to Into the Dark forward deploys. So now those teams have to be on conceal and stay on conceal. They can't just walk open up a door on engage. And neophytes from Wormblade can do it twice, which is good for them. But generally, we've just had some good clarifications of timings. As I said, I like that they put the FAQ for Fellgor Ravagers also in the Blades of Khaine. So it's just not lost within a singular faction's FAQ, because it causes a lot of problems as we've had in the past. So just some really good questions answered here, and lots of clarifications about timing. Because one thing I've been complaining about a lot is Kill Team has unintentionally introduced all these timing clashes with no real actual clarification of when the timing occurs. Because hopefully when we get a new edition this year, that they clarify timing windows, because while most of it is clear, we still have a lot of unambiguous timing windows, such as what happens with Frenzy at the end of the turning point. Technically, it goes to the person who has initiative, like end of the game, it goes to who has initiative, who decides what order that's resolved instead of being a fixed timing thing. So it's good they're trying to fix it in now, because it's kind of a problem that has occurred as the game has developed, with the more abilities and roles and ploys that they add that works in these unique time periods. So generally really good clarifications there. And as I said, we've seen a general gameplay change with ploys and abilities that protect you from being shot multiple times, e.g. blast. So really good. We'll probably get an article soon, maybe from Warhammer community. Hopefully we don't get any more updates later during the day. But if we do, this was recorded at 12:30 and it's now like 1 o'clock. So hopefully that's all been super clear. I'm personally a fan of all these FAQs. I would have liked some clarifications for the other teams. I find it really weird that they didn't clarify the timing for Hand of the Archon pain tokens with Blast. That feels like it should have been clarified here. But otherwise, not too many buffs or nerfs, which is really good to see. The only indirect buffs we've heard is basically for ploys that kill with mortal wounds or abilities, scoring tac ops, and then neophytes being able to do 2 4 deploys on Into the Dark instead of 1, and also the Novitiate Sister Superior being able to group activate at any point during her activation, so she can actually move and then spread it, which is kind of crazy. So otherwise, really good FAQ. But that's pretty much it from me today. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. I'm sick, so please do so. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out for free in the episode description below, and a Link Element Games, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support, and I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So for my adepts of the crit, I have Tom, Sam, Nick, Kenzie, John Thomas, Graham, Dave Meets World, Dad of Goldens, Ben, and for my veterans of the crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much for all your support. It really means a lot to me and helps support the channel. I do have another video that was supposed to come out today. That will probably come out Friday now, so apologies about that. But it'll be another battle report on Beta Decima, so it should be fun. But yeah, I'm sick, so please support me. It's so annoying. It's a blessing because I was supposed to be at work today, but I'm effectively sick. So it allowed me to cover this for you guys. So I hope it all makes sense. As I said, hopefully nothing else gets updated during the day, otherwise I'll be very annoyed. But yeah, let's... Remember, no matter what the FAQs say, there's always a chance to win, as long as you can roll a crit.